Jai Shriman Narayan. Jai Shriman Narayan. Jai Shriman Narayan. I pay my obeisances to my spiritual master, Srimad Jagadguru Sudarshan Acharya Ji Maharaj. I pay my obeisances to Lord Sri Ramanuj. I pay my obeisances to our Purva Acharyas. I pay my obeisances to our 12 Alvars. I pay my obeisances to Mother Lakshmi. And I pay my obeisances to Lord Sriman Narayan. I welcome all of you here physically at the Sri Narayan Dham in Durban, South Africa. I welcome those that's watching this discourse locally, nationally, and internationally. And I welcome in advance those that's going to be watching this discourse when it is posted on YouTube and the various groups from around the world subsequently. I have the honor of introducing and welcoming Vrindavan Das from the Brahma Gaudiya Sampradaya, and he is one of the components that is going to bring our reality of oneness into being. He doesn't know a whole lot of things yet, but we will reveal to him in bits and pieces. For me to meet him, 4 people died. It's a reality. And when I saw him, I was busy constructing a road, and he was trying to bypass, and he didn't know who held out his hand to him. So he was, I think, 2 meters above the ground, 1.5 meters above the ground, and I was preparing the road for the trucks to go into the mining area, and we had caused a disturbance on his pathway, and I held out my hand, and I think he was shocked, and I brought him down. Generally, I don't have capacity to take anybody's phone number and put it in my phone, especially during the day when the sun is shining. I can't do it when the sun is not shining properly, imagine. But I made sure I took his name, I saved it as Vrindavan, and I called him as I promised him. Because in our world, nothing is a coincidence. And whoever is seated here today, you're not seated here coincidentally. Not a blade of grass moves without the will of the Supreme Lord. And when we meet through His grace. It is up to you how you utilize the grace of the Supreme Lord. Many are interested in the individual selfish requirements and desires, and I have met thousands, and I don't see them anymore, because as soon as their desires, material desires, are satiated, they leave. But that is not the reason why the Lord connects you to the Guru. And there is a saying, Vrindavan, that you do not find the Guru. The Guru finds you. And that is absolute. So whether you believe or don't believe, we still have 155 trillion years to teach you to believe. 155 trillion years left to teach you to believe. God is time. That is why He always have time on His hand. He is the very essence of time. So as humans, we are unique in that we have intellect. Every species has uniqueness. A bird has uniqueness to see from 5 kilometers. The bird can see a grain on the ground. Alright? Vishwadhar, you cannot see 2 meters away from you. Alright? But the bird, thousands of meters, it can see a grain on the ground. That's the uniqueness of the bird. And how many of you all have seen the koi, my koi pond? Nearly all of you all. Wasn't? You and Tivashni come early in the morning. Have you all ever seen the kois sleeping on the side or flat on the stomach? They sleep whilst they are in swimming position. That is their uniqueness. Yes? And your uniqueness is your intellect. You can understand the essence of the knowledge which is called God. Essence of all knowledge is God. You have intellect to understand that. My koi don't have that intellect. Birds don't have that intellect. Our dog Lakshman does not have that intellect. But you have that intellect. You can decipher the knowledge. You can reason that knowledge. You can use that knowledge to understand the Supreme Being. So man has done everything possible outwardly. Man has done everything possible outwardly, looking for all the comforts outside. But man has never been comfortable outside. No man has ever been comfortable outside. No man can state that I have been comfortable outside. And Vrindavan informs me now and again he is in Belito. And if you take a spreadsheet and knock on every door and see how comfortable man has been in the wealthiest of areas now currently in Durban, Belito. Even Belito can't give you comfortability, happiness. You can't find any happiness, no matter how many devices, how easy you make your traveling. Even on the internet, now the source of all information is at your fingertips. But our children have become zombies. Our children are now zombies. Remember those days we used to walk to school kilometers and kilometers in rain, in sun. That was education. Don't fool yourself. Our children are very, very intelligent. They are stupid. The greater the technology, the more stupid you are becoming. Yes or no? Yes. So we have been looking in the wrong direction all our life. When you inhale a breath of air, do you know how many dimensions it breaks down into? Just simple air. When you breathe in, this air is coming into your machine. You own this machine called your body. And this air enters your machine. This machine belongs to you only. God has leased this machine to you for an X amount of breaths. And when that breath expire, then you will have to return the machine back to earth. How many of you have ever thought that when I breathe in, what happens to that breath that I take in? And that is very simple. It's very logic. But you want to go to Mars and see what's breathing there. You want to go to the moon and see who's breathing in on the moon. And you want to see what's cooking in your neighbor's pot. And as I say, when Abdul buys his BM and Mercedes, you upset with Abdul. But poor Abdul goes 5 times a day to the mosque and he earned his BM and Mercedes. But those of you that are in Sanatan Dharma, you don't even know which is your official book. What's your official book, Tibeshni? Only Tibeshni knows. In Kali Yuga, you don't have time to brush your hair, to brush your teeth properly before you rush off to work. You cannot utilize the entire library called the Vedas. But the Lord has made it absolutely simple for you. He condensed the entire Vedas into 700 verses. Entire Vedas into 700 verses. How is that possible? Because there is 545,000 verses in all the Vedas collectively. How did he simplify it in just 700 verses? Everything you need to know is in the Bhagavad Gita. How many of you have time for 700 verses in your lifetime? And this is your book. In the absence of which is your misery. In the absence of which is your misery. In the absence of the Bhagavad Gita and knowledge of the Bhagavad Gita is your misery. So this system is eternal. Eternal means no beginning and no ending. But you have a beginning and you have a end as per the machines that you ride in. You will continue riding in misery. There's nothing in this material universe that is not miserable. The substratum of this material universe is ebb and flow of misery. Like a prison, by its very essence, it is misery. It is misery. It doesn't matter which warder you bribe. As long as you are in prison, you are still miserable. And this universe, the ingredients of this universe, is all our karma combined. That is the fuel for the creation of this universe. And the remedy is the medication out of this misery is to attend a bona fide satsang in Kali Yuga. You can try anything. Most of you have tried everything. It is only a bona fide satsang that will redeem you of your misery. Having knowledge means nothing. Having knowledge means absolutely nothing if you don't know how to use it. You can know everything, but if you don't practically use and experience what you know, it's like you having R1 million in your account and you don't know how to buy with it. Useless. That R1 million is useless if you do not know how to make a transaction with that R1 million. Similarly, having all the knowledge, I know is not enough. I must experience what I know, is why God has Himself come down on this earth. Twice, Lord Ram as the ideal man or ideal entity, and Lord Sri Krishna as the perfect entity. Both times he lived the Vedas. Both times he lived the Vedas absolutely. But in our Sanatana Dharma, we have more gods than humans. Because every family has a god, Premila, or a goddess. Every family has a god or a goddess that we have to alter the Vedas to suit every family. That is in Sanatana Dharma. Same Sanatana Dharma is, you'll see them on a Sunday going to church with the Bible. Because they found some divinity in changing. But the same Sanatana Dharma is, if I tell them, here's the Bhagavad Gita, read one verse a day, and if you don't understand, ask the Guru, no time. Vrindavan, when I was growing up, the Bhagavad Gita was wrapped in a red cloth and kept high, and we were instructed we were too dirty to touch or open. Alright? Premila, where's your Bhagavad Gita? In your attic? Prayer room. Who generally you think you will find in a prayer room? Who is found in a prayer room? God. He spoke the Bhagavad Gita. He don't need to read it and understand it. He spoke it for you, Premila, and your children and their children. He don't need to revise his own Bhagavad Gita. So if you keep it there by him, does it make sense? Imagine you take all your money, you go to the Reserve Bank and you give it to the governor, you leave it there. How are you going to live? How are you going to live? The money was given to you, not for the Reserve Bank governor. You need to utilize that money. And similarly, you need to utilize the knowledge of the Supreme Lord. So I just want to go international. There was a beheading of a tailor that was in support of Nupur Sharma. Remember, the only crime Nupur Sharma committed was she quoted a hadith. A hadith is the supplementary writings to the Quran. These two Islamists they videoed the slitting of the throat, and then they went and made a video pronouncing to the world what they had done. So in our quest for oneness, we have to understand why this has happened. We have to understand why this has happened. When you teach a 5-year-old child that if anybody blasphemes your prophet, your religion, or your scripture, then beheading is natural. What are you computing in that 5-year-old child? What are you computing in the mind of that 5-year-old child? When you're telling the 5-year-old child that there is no other God but your God, and whoever is not praying to your God is the enemy. When you computing this in a 5-year-old child, when the child becomes 6, 7, 8, 10, university, remember most of these Islamist terrorists are well educated, they have university degrees. So education cannot teach you divinity. If hatred is planted to you at the tender age of 5, and you water the seeds through madrasa, through Molanas that's teaching you hatred, is it not normal to slit the throat of someone that blasphemed your religion or your prophet? It's a normal action of a computed human being. You understand? So we need, and this is why this interfaith is so important. Because we need to teach Muslims to immediately condemn these acts which we are not seeing. We need Muslims to stand up on public platforms as soon as these demonic acts are carried on and show us and the rest of the world that 99.9% of them do not agree. This is the Satan they talk about in the Quran. This is the devil they talk about in the Quran. So the word jihad, what does jihad means? Against whom?
Your own internal vices.
Your anger, your hatred, your jealousy, your pride, your ego. That is what jihad means in the Quran. But the Americans took out the word jihad and they created a narrative behind that word jihad. Now I'm seeing there's a love jihad in India. They're calling it love jihad. This jihad was used by the Americans, and the Americans induced terrorism in the world. The Americans induced, they assisted this narrative. The Americans assisted this narrative of terrorism which has spread around the world. So the Supreme Lord has scheduled incarnations. He come in a schedule. He'll be down here 432,000 in 432,000 years. From now until then, we have to protect ourselves. He has given us the intellect. And he can give you anything you want. See, this ashram is my dream manifested. This ashram is my dream manifested. And I think this is the only ashram in the world that has manifested itself from the inside out. This is not a public funded ashram. This is not a public funded ashram, but every aspect of this ashram, this land was once impossible to walk down safely. You could not walk down this land safely when I got here in 2018. Today, trucks are coming down and in and out. There was no flat place on this land to park one vehicle. Today I can park 100 vehicles. Everything manifested on its own, because I rely on God. I rely on God. God did not come down here and do anything. He sent relevant people, and relevant people came and fixed this ashram so that I can accommodate you today. Similarly, we must become relevant people and fix the world of what is happening today and tomorrow. This is your world. This is your earth. This is your earth. It is up to you what you want to find in this earth. And as I've explained, it does not matter that it is Kal Yuga, that we are in Kal Yuga. We can make our environment Satyug. This ashram is vibrating in Satyug. This ashram is vibrating in Satyug. When you walk in here, there is no traces of Dwapara Yuga, of Kal Yuga, of Treta Yuga. We are in Satyug. You can change the consciousness. You can change the consciousness to Suddha Sattva, absolute purity, just by yourself. just by yourself. So although we are in Kali Yuga, individually you can change it to Satyuga. In Satyuga, if you are vibrating in Satagun, you won't have any illness. You won't have any illness. And the job of the Guru is to bring you from Tamogun to Rajogun and from Rajogun to Satagun. And those of you aspire, those of you that embrace fully, then from Satagun to Sudasattva. These are dimensions of consciousness. Dimensions of consciousness. So if you are ill, you have to change your consciousness from one dimension to another dimension. Hemita can't change your consciousness with the injection. Dr. Hemita, if you meet her in hospital and if she gives you an injection, she can't change your consciousness. She can only change the symptom. She can only change the symptom. The cause is not in this gross body. The cause is in the subtle body which Hemita's injection cannot reach. The gurus have this injection that can penetrate your subtle body. That injection is better than Hemita's injection, because with Hemita's injection next year you'll get sick again. Guru's injection, you'll never get sick again. All of you understand? You all understand? So I want to wish Tivashni a happy birthday. She looks goofed and drunk. I don't know where she and her father went. I think her father is teaching her drugs now and alcohol. Tivashni, the camera is not lying. See, both cameras are trained on you for evidence. For evidence. We don't know where your dad took you. Alright, I'll catch him after satsang. Alright, so Tivashni just landed from some bush with her father straight into her birthday party today. And Tivashni, when she joined us, she was in Sudasattva, then she went into Satagun, then she went into Rajogun, and now she is in Tamogun. Alright? She reversed the Vedas and she reversed the Guru principle, Guru-disciple principle. Next year, I don't know where she's going to be. Her first birthday, we adopted the angels. Her last birthday, she don't even want to see the angels. She don't even want to know who the angels are. But the first birthday, she made the Guru adopt the angels. And we ran the angels programs until now. Now it's all about her. Now is everything about Tivashni. Alright? But we'll continue to support her. And we wish her, you 18 now, which means she thinks that she do not have to listen to her parents and the Guru. So we have high court cases every time in my kutir. So I told Tivashni at the last high court case that I'm 59 and I know you and your grand uncle, you're wishing for the Guru to perish. Tivashni so that she can have a full freedom, because whatever she do, her mom and her dad always bring her to the ashram, and then I've taken her phone away for years, from the time she was in standard 6. I banned her cell phone so many times, and then she just has one thought when she looks at me: when will you breathe your last so that I can have my freedom? But that's not only her uncle on that end, Vrindavan. He's also wishing when I breathe my last so he can sit on my Vyasasana. All right? That's a grand uncle. That DNA is running in the family. All right? So I let her have these thoughts for a few months, and then I told her, Tiveshni, Vishwadhar went and he opened a book for the Guru. Astrology. And in that book, it is stated that the Guru will breathe his last in a satsang, but at the age of 91. So you and your children and maybe your grandchildren will still be governed by this Guru. There is no escape. And I told her, I'll have sign language. In my 80s, when I can't talk anymore, I'll have a stick. And when I do this with the stick, it will be a sign language for Tiveshni. So Tiveshni, now she just gave up. Just gave up. This Guru is going nowhere. Guru is always going to be around. And this is called Guru-disciple relationship. Whether you, in the good books of the Guru or the bad books of the Guru, as long as you are holding with your two hands the feet of the Guru, everything will be okay. Everything will be okay. No quick fix with the Guru, because the Guru wants to make a dynamic change in your life in this lifetime itself. So Vrindavan will tell you that in the Guru Gita, various types of Gurus are mentioned. And I've chosen the hardest part. I'm not looking for followers. I'm looking for disciples. And disciples mean discipline. Disciple mean discipline. If you do not adopt discipline, then I'm getting paid for nothing from the Supreme Lord. I don't want to take payment from the Supreme Lord for nothing. I don't, having 10,000 people in front of me, and if you have no discipline, I am wasting my time and your time. My time and your time. So if you are acquainted with me, then you have to toe the line. You have to toe the line. When you go out of the line, I got my rope tied at your ankle. I pull it. Then some of you cut the line and run away, Vrindavan. Thousands have run away. All right? But I rather have one disciplined disciple than a whole lot of ill-disciplined disciples. You can't be disciples and ill-disciplined at the same time. You understand? You either be a disciple or don't be a disciple. So I'm going to hand the mic over to Vrindavan now. He can say a few words, anything, whatever he wants to talk about. He has an open mandate.
Thank you, Guruji. I didn't expect to say anything, but I just want to offer my respects to the Guru Parampara and my Guru as well. Gurave Gaurachandraya Radhikaya Tadaraye Krishnaya Krishna Bhaktaya Tadbhaktaya Namo Namaha. So, thank you so much for inviting me here. It's a great honor which I feel I don't deserve, to be invited and to be with you all. But I was very excited to come and to meet fellow Vaishnavas, because in our line of practice, the Sri Sampradaya of Sri Ramanujacharya is very, very important. Sri Ramanujacharya is very, very important. What he has done, what he has achieved in the propagation of bhakti around the world. So the scripture explains that there's 4 Sat Sampradayas, 4 lines of Sampradayas, and those 4 lines are eternal. And any line emanates or is an offshoot of these 4 Sampradayas. So the scripture explains that Sampradaya Vihinaye Mantraste Nishphala Mataha, that without receiving the mantra from the Sat Sampradaya, bona fide Sampradaya, then your mantra is dead. Mantra is, even the doctor cannot resuscitate. Dead mantras. So people are chanting dead mantras. So the mantra becomes alive when you receive it from the bona fide guru. Imagine the importance of a guru. You can read the mantra from a book, but the guru has to give the mantra prana, give it life. So receiving the mantra from a bona fide guru is very important. Many people ask this question, why do I need a guru? Because the guru, he is a manifestation of the mantra. So you are very fortunate to come in the bona fide line, eternal line of Sri Ramanujacharya, Sri Sampradaya, Lakshmi Devi. So to receive a bona fide mantra from a bona fide guru, not a lifeless mantra which needs resuscitation. So I'm very happy, and we come from the Brahma Gaudiya Sampradaya. So we are family. We are family. So when I came in here, I think that your guru is full of tricks. Because when I came here, I felt very ecstatic as he explained that this is a Vaikuntha, no anxiety. This is Vaikuntha. So when I came here, I'm sitting and I'm seeing Sri Narayan looking and smiling. I said, this is a very dangerous place. This is a very dangerous place. Sri Narayan is looking and smiling very beautifully. The Acharya himself, Sri Ramanujacharya, I offered my pranams before I came. That is etiquette, protocol. And I feel very inspired. And I realized that satsang is a place for revival. You must revive your instructions. What you've learned from Bhagavad Gita is you get a revival by hearing from a bona fide guru. When you leave this place, then as the problems come, you've been mentioning. You're very famous now. I hope you're not infamous. But as you go out into the work, into the world, You are empowered by the shiksha, by the instructions of the Guru. You are empowered by Bhagavad Gita. You are like Arjun. You are full of Shakti. You are enthused. And so in your challenges, then you will remember what the Guru said. And then again you come again and you drink again, you revive. You have to take your weekly shot. Of not of the other things. Well, we're laughing very loudly, doctor. I don't know what you're laughing very loudly. What shot are you taking? Okay, this is a doctor. Okay, so the weekly injection of spiritual instruction. So I'm very, very excited and very happy to assist. The Guru is full of surprises. He didn't tell me many things, and I'm hearing that I'm going to get in installments surprise. So thank you so much. I didn't know about this ashram in South Africa. Now I know that I can understand that the mission of the Lord is spreading very fast, because all the Sampradayas are coming, and Ramanuja Acharya is here already in South Africa. So we're very happy to assist in any way possible, to work together for the spreading and for actually teaching, because as the Acharya has mentioned, that the leadership is a problem. Leadership is a problem in the sense that they're dividing society, and they're not understanding what it means, as you mentioned, about jihad, the real meaning, even this the meaning, what is Jew? It means one who surrenders to God. There's the leadership have to understand what is the real meaning of the words and present to the world what it means. So it's very important to understand the context that we are one, unity in diversity. So language, sometimes they take it very seriously. There's a barrier. But actually, if I call God Nkulunkulu, I'm calling the same person. If I call God, Modimo, I'm calling God. He knows I'm calling him. If I call God, Krishna, Bhagavan, Narayan, I'm calling the same person. So, the names are there, but the substance. So we have to understand the substance. We have to become Saragrahi, accept the essence of a thing. So if I call Amanzi, it's water. And I can quench my thirst with water, isn't it? The name is different according to the language. We're so grateful that God created all the varieties of people in the world. So we have to take the essence. And so the leadership, it's very regrettable what I'm hearing, what has happened. Of course, there's so many things that happen in the world, that there's a very big misunderstanding in terms of spiritual leadership, misleading their followers to act in a way which has no compassion. Religion is supposed to unite people, not divide them. So we can only be united on the soul platform, because differently, on the material platform, we're different. I'm not an Indian. I'm a Zulu, Black South African. But spiritually, we are one. We are the Atma, we're the soul. So there has to be, varieties on the material platform. Spiritually, we are one. So we want to unite and educate the spiritual leaders that we are the soul. That's the first thing, ABC of spiritual life, and they have not understood it, many people. What does the Brihad Aranya Upanishad says? Aham Brahmasmi. I am spirit, I'm the soul. That is the real, even the dog, by the way. I was very surprised when I came to the line of Sanatana Dharma. This is the first religion which explained to me that there's a soul in the dog. First. That there's the tree, the soul is there. Never knew that before. So then, we don't even harm the tree. We don't even harm the grass. What kind of religion is this? You see, how beautiful. We don't want to harm unnecessarily like this. So I'm so pleased. I'm available to assist. I'm a very limited person. I'm a very small, insignificant person. So I have very small capacity, but whatever I have, I'm willing to assist those who are engaged in propagating Sanatana Dharma. Thank you.
Thank you, Vrindavan Das. This is happening naturally, and natural is God. Natural is God. If you go to my previous satsangs, you'll find this theme that we are experiencing today. Last week we had the honor of listening to Archbishop Ngobo. And he stated, I don't know whether formally or informally, that what type of system is the Guru system and why no blacks are Gurus. 7 days later, we have a black South African. We are Indian South Africans. We have a black South African which answered the question in a very prophetic way. Whatever happens through God must happen naturally. All you have to do is to surrender. My trick. Vrindavan, do you know that I don't know Hindi? I don't know Sanskrit. My Guru, Swami Sudarshan Acharya Ji Maharaj, I've never met him. He left his mortal coil 1 year before I joined the system. I had no formal teacher. I have no formal teacher. But I sit here week in and week out discussing the Vedas. Nobody taught me anything. The trick is nobody need to teach you anything. You need to surrender. As you surrender, in proportion to your surrender, everything will be known. Everything will be known. I got no formal education as a guru. I only got initiated. But I took my initiation seriously. And every morning when I get up, I ask my Guru, what more can I do for you today? And as I ask him that question, the mission gets bigger and bigger and bigger. Because when I ask him, what more can I do for you today? Then he sent me to Munguntwini river to find Vrindavan. So that Vrindavan and I can do more tomorrow. So every day when I ask my Guru, what more can I do for you today? The ashram gets bigger. The devotees, more devotees frequent the ashram. And the world, there's a dynamic change in the world. You just need to make a 1 degree change wherever you are, and if you measure 1 degree with a protractor from here to America, how big that angle becomes. Just 1 degree, but how big the angle becomes. All right? And on that note, I have Vishwadarya who was very upset when we lost a devotee in America. So I was giving these to all my devotees, and he watched from America. And he said he wants one hand given by me to him. He doesn't want to buy one in America. So I asked Vishwadar to coordinate. And unfortunately, Vishwadar was not upset because he left. He sent Vishwadar an email that he is no longer interested in this Sampradaya anymore. He is confused and he left. So Vishwadar was not upset because he left. He was upset because it cost him 600 rand to send this via post to America, and that upset him for a few weeks. So 2 days ago I got a WhatsApp call from the same person asking if he could be reacquainted with the Guru again. Because when you leave the Guru, it doesn't matter which part of the world you are and how far away you are. When you meet the Guru switches on your soul. And when you leave the Guru, automatically your soul switches itself off. And inside your soul resides the Supreme Lord, Lord Sriman Narayan. So when you with the Guru, you have a happiness that words cannot describe. Because you find me words that can describe the Supreme Lord within you. So many attributes. No word in any language can describe that feeling when you are one with your Maker. Okay? So many people feel the darkness. Pramila, was it dark out there? Many people feel the darkness when out of contact with the Guru. It has to be like that because it is a Vedic injunction. And a Vedic injunction is a mathematical formula. It is absolutely truth. And if we had to break you down and break this universe down, everything is mathematics. At that stage, right at the bottom, everything is an equation because energy is an equation. Energy is an equation. So this is why you feel distant without the Guru and jubilant when you are with the Guru. All right? So through the grace of God, you are awarded the presence of a Guru. Through the grace of God, you are awarded the presence of a Guru, and through the grace of the Guru, you are awarded the presence of the Lord. You understand? All of you understand? So take the Guru system absolutely serious. In fact, there is nothing more serious in a human life then the Guru, Tattva or the Guru, principle. Everything else is secondary. Everything else is secondary. Your husband is secondary. Your wife is secondary. Your children is secondary. Your job is secondary. Your parents are secondary. Because when you put the Guru first, the Guru puts you first. And when you are first, what is missing in your life? Jai Sriman Narayan.